Welcome back, YouTubers at Father and Son's Train Room. We're back today with Tommy and Mr.
Cody.
Alright, we're going to talk about today, we're going to do a little ballasting on the track. We'll talk about the bus wiring I did. I've added on to bus wiring, made it longer underneath the table so we have more access points under the table. We're going to explain how I soldered it to the track. We're going to explain a little bit on how this double pass works on a regular oval track. It's pretty simple, but when you do a double pass, you have more crossing back and forth. It's still simple, but you got to pay attention because you don't want to cross your wires. You cross your wires, you're going to short out, nothing's going to work properly. So we'll get to that in just a second, but first I want to apologize for being a little slow on my videos. Life happens, you know, we're busy working long hours. Plus I upgraded my laptop up to a little bit better laptop, but it's Windows 10. I'm not a fan of Windows 10s by no means. I love my Windows 7, but this one's Windows 10, so it is what it is. I got to deal with it, and I got to figure out how to get around the loopholes to save that moolah. We don't like spending moolah here in the training center room. We want to spend money, we're going to spend it on the trains, not the computer stuff, not the videos. But unfortunately, we're going to have to spend a little money. But hopefully I got it kind of figured out what's going on. We're going to get these videos started uploading again at least once or twice a week. Each time we do something to the layout, I want to try to get a video up. You know, me and my son, we also have other channels, and we're going to probably integrate them channels into this channel. And I like video gaming. He likes doing videos on trains and stuff itself. And we're going to try to do some other videos on the outside of the room, talking about other trains, like going to maybe model train rail fanning, or rail fanning, that's it.
Yes, rail fanning.
Now he loves rail fanning. He loves us to go out to the local railroad stations here close by, and he likes to sit there and wait on trains. And I got a few videos of them, and maybe we're going to get some of them posted up soon.
And we got one of the GSMR, you know, the Great Smoky Mountains Railroad.
Yeah, we got that one. We got me pushing the turntable that time. Well, we can get all that on YouTube, can't we? Well, alright. We're going to pause the video right here, and I'll be back in just a minute to show what we got here on the layout. Be right back. Alright, here we are again. We're down here with my Tech 2. This is got it wired in back here to my bus wires. Just straight wired in back there. Got it hooked up, and underneath here I went ahead and connected my two bus wires right there, connected them up, and went ahead and run them on back through on the inner holes right there, back around. So now we got good connection throughout the whole layout. So my bus wires runs through twice underneath the table, and we'll be able to have access points. You can see right back here I already got my connectors hooked in there, and I have them hooked here also here. So up here underneath the table we're ready to go, and come back up to the top. We got our bus wires running in here, running down, and back over here. Then I have them right here also. Got it running down here. Now if you might notice, I have a yellow wire and I have a yellow wire. Well, wait a minute. On an oval track that will be wrong, but since this is a double pass, and it's kind of like a figure eight in a way, and it crosses over each other, what you have to do is you have to follow this rail throughout the whole layout as you go down through there. And then it's going to cross when it comes back around over there and comes back up to this one right here. See, that rail's going to be on this side. So keep that in mind when you're laying your bus wires and connecting to your bus wires underneath the table, that you're staying with the right track, right rail, to the right color bus wire, and your connectors for your bus rail. That's very, very important. Okay, I've already took and put Thomas on here a couple times and run him. I sanded down where I might have got a little solder or anything up here. Right now everything's nice and smooth. I went ahead and put in my little nails. It's hard to see right there, but right there it is. Got my nails in all my holes. This track is steady. It ain't going nowhere. Now the whole table moves a little bit, but that's fine. But the track itself is glued down and set up. I did have a video on me gluing down the track, and you might have noticed in the last couple videos that wasn't in there. You seen where after I had it glued, and well, unfortunately that video got chopped somehow or lost, so we didn't have that one in there. But there's plenty of great videos out there on how to glue the track down to it's the same as gluing the roadbed down to the styrofoam. It's the same thing. I didn't put glue on the whole track. I glued the whole roadbed on top, but I done sections, especially where the joints are in the track. I took and put extra glue, and then I hit and miss places, because when you're trying to put the glue on the bottom of the track itself, it just wants to seep through and make a mess, and you just wasting a lot of glue. You just put extra glue down here, and you get these hot points set with glue, and then all that's going to work out just fine. So now here we are over here. We're getting ready for our ballasting. Went ahead and got my wet water ready. And like I said, it's make a cup of water with a couple of drops of Dawn dishwashing liquid, what I like to use. We'll take that and pour into my spray bottle. I'm going to bring some more spray bottles in from work. We'll come in from work tomorrow and go by the local Dollar General and get some more stuff to pick up. We've got our scenic cement. I've already got 1 cup of water ready. We're going to take and mix some of the cement into this. We're going to use that for our diluted scenic cement. We're going to use eyedropper. Well, this is a syringe, I'm sorry. And we got our brushes here so we can use the brush to glue on, and brush to wipe off the excess ballast. So I'm going to pause the video here. We're going to go ahead. I want to go ahead and start working on it back here in the back. I want to do a little practice run before I bring y'all back to the video. Then we're going to do one ourselves. We'll probably come over here and do this one or this one, and let y'all watch me do that one, and we'll go from there. Be back in a few. Hi, welcome back, YouTubers. Doing a little ballasting here. Got this little section done right here. Doing a little experimenting. Trying to get ideas on how it's supposed to work out. I got that side over there done also. And thought there for a minute, well, maybe we need a base undercoat paint on that too. Well, don't think so. See, that paint is not sticking to that glue now where the paper is, you know, the plaster paper is fine, but now where that glue is, it just wants to run. But, you know, it's going to be covered up. You're not going to see it. Hey, if you're going to experiment in the tunnels. And experiment in the tunnels. So, in the previous video, when we was talking about the court roadbed, I was telling you about sanding down that little edge right there on the side right there. You want that down because, see, there's little humps right in there where I didn't sand that part. Now I did sand all this right in here, because I got right in here it wasn't sanded. You can kind of see that little ridge. But if you got that ridge, you're going to have to put more ballast in there. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure all of this right here is sanded down real good, which I think it is. I think it feels real good. This one does. So I'm going to set the tripod up, and we're going to bring it over, and we're going to try to get a good angle in here and show you how I'm going to do this. Be right back. Alright, welcome back. Got you on the tripod now. Now this ballast actually has some extra I had from the guy I got the track stuff from. He had some. This ballast is the exact same color as the ballast that come with it. It's a buff medium ballast. They're identical in color. Just not much of a difference, if any. This might be a few years older than this one pack right here. I don't know. Well, he had this probably 15 years ago, and this is probably 15-year-old too. But anyway, so I'm just going ahead and using it, and what I'm going to do once I get a little lower, I'm going to start blending it in, so when we start coming from here back out, then it's going to match even better. So what I discovered first, let's do the inside. This is my opinion alone. I've watched several videos on how to lay ballast, and nobody does it the same. Woodland Scenics tells you to do one way in the instructions, and then they tell you a different way when you go watch their videos online. So, you know, it's a do it how you think you can do it, the best way you can do it, and go from there. So we got a little bit down in there. I'm going to get that down inside the ties in there real good. I'm going to tell you, back there on the back side, you're way up in the air, you're going to lose a lot more ballast. It's going to fall down and get in everything. I'm trying not to get none down in here, because remember, we got to put more ties in there. Once we connect this track and go that way, we need to get some more railroad ties down in there. So I want to kind of sweep that out a little bit. I don't want none right there on the end. Now you take your little hand vac, and you can take and vacuum this back up, make sure it's good and clean inside. And now once you get, if you get like this right here, I'm not worried about, but this is my experimenting phase. Get a good clean hand vac. You can take and recycle that ballast, and you can put it back in the container and use it again later. So we just want to kind of pull some more back this way. Now you don't want it clumped up under inside the rail right here, so take your brush, pull that back. Pull that back off the inside of that rail, because once that glue dries, and it's going to be stuck to your rail. So there's a big clump right there. And yes, this right here takes time. It's tedious. Don't come down here and gonna work for 5 minutes and think you're gonna get 10 foot done. 5 minutes, you won't even get the ballast on. So you want to make sure it's good smeared. I find if you do this part first, before you get anything wet, it's easier to clean your ties. Get a little tap, and that gets that ballast to fall down in the cracks more. Now your tunnel starts right here. You're really not going to see that far back in there. So I'm not going to go no further back. I just want to make sure I get it. As much as this pulled off the edge. Once this is done, clean the top. See, when you clean the top, it kind of goes back to the edge. Just like that. Now you're going to have a little bit here and there. That ain't going to hurt, because you don't want no huge clumps. That should be good. Now the instructions tell you to do a blend with your water and your glue. Now instruction says to do a 1/3, a 1 part to 3 parts. So 1 part glue, 3 parts water. Well, I have that in my sprayer. We did say earlier we was going to use this for the wet water, but I forgot I had another little hand sprayer. So I'm using that for my wet water. But I'm using a 1 to 3 in here. But this right here is, I'm going to 50-50. 50-50. Reason I'm doing that is because when you're working up in here, that ballast wants to too thin, it wants to just run off the sides. That's the problem I had over there, so I thickened it up a little bit. And yeah, I probably wasted more glue, so I put it in this container and I put a lid on it, hopefully it'll hold. And I got another container over there I can kind of funnel it back into, and then it'll be good. This actually come out of the stuff I got from the guy on the old gauge model railroad we got over here. And I'm sure it's 20-something-year-old and still good, so we'll put that back in there. Alright, I'm going to put a little wet water now. Some say not to use wet water first, some says use wet water first. I don't know. We're going to do what we think's right and keep on rocking. So I'm going to start up in here, and I want to let me get my hand out. My main focus right now is not the ties, but the riser and along the edge of this cork. I want this ballast to stick to it good. So if it runs off the sides a little bit, that's fine. But I want it to get in there real good, and I want it thick. If anything, if you want to, you can go thicker. I've seen a couple videos a few minutes ago. I said, I'm going to look and see what's going on. And one guy, heck, he just puts it straight on glue. But, you know, come over here, do this side the same way. And kind of determine how far you want to go back with your ballast. You know, I'm just only going back this far with this one because you're going to see up in there a little bit further than you do the other tunnels. So we want to get it good and wet with this glue. And saturated. Saturated. Don't be gentle, be rough with it. Get it in there. Because you want it to stick, and you'll see why here in a second. Because once we start putting that ballast, if that glue ain't thick enough and it's not wet enough, it's just going to slide right off and fall down there. So vigorous. Alright, so we got that done. Take your ballast and work a little at a time. Now, it's got a little in there, that's it. I want it up on that styrofoam, that riser, and I want it right up on that ledge. Now I'm just giving just small taps because I don't want all this to fall down on the baseboard here. When we get ready to do our tunnel ports and I want to paint the inside of them black, I'm liable just to come back, maybe a small can of some kind of paint once all that glue's good and dry, and hit it thick. Oops, it made a mess. So yeah, just working small increments at a time. Get that up on that edge. See right in there, it's not wanting to. Now I did, once I put the glue on, come back and I done a little wet water. Then I come back and I put some more ballast. So right there, get it right on that styrofoam. That looks. Alright, now come right along the edge right here. I'm probably off the camera now. Just like so. Let's check. Oh yeah, just a little bit. There we go. If I turn that thing right there, I can see what I'm doing on the camera at the same time. Alright, we're going to do this also, this inside right here. It's like I said, just got a little too much on there this time. Just gentle taps on the side of that spoon right there. Now on the rest of it, once you start putting all your plaster cloth on, you're going to put a base coat paint before you start applying the ballast and everything. So, but I guess in here we didn't do that and didn't plan on that. So, see, one little spoonful right there goes a long way. That's a good 8 inches worth of ballasting right there on the edge. That's not even a half, probably just right out of half. Trying to keep my arm up out of the way. Get up and then rails right in there. Now I know we didn't put no glue down in them rails first, but don't worry, it's getting there. It'll be there in just a second. We got a little light right here, so I'm going to put a little more right in there. A little light right in there. Now also that glue's, that ballast is absorbing that glue. It's going to give it a little different color change. Your ballast is going to get thick. You just don't want to see that cork. Now some people paint all that. A lot of them will paint their rails. They do, you know, that's nice and everything, but it's a little more work for me, and I want to put into it right now at the moment, especially in this tunnel area. Maybe out there in the main car. I'm just going to lightly brush off the ties, just lightly. I mean, just barely touching it. I got put a little thicker right there where that wire comes in. Same thing right there, kind of hide that yellow and that blue wire. Alright, now we're going to apply our wet water once again. And what I've seen with the wet water, it does take that clump out. And they say that wet water helps make the glue absorb, give it a little bit of a shake. Now I have it on the, not string, but the spray. And it don't really spray a whole lot. But we're going to wet it down. You're going to start seeing, maybe see little spots where the cork's going to show. It's fine. Get down inside. Once you wet that inside, you just might as well just let it dry, because there ain't nothing you can do. So that's why I said, see, I got a little too close. I'll do it with my left hand and trying to stay out of the camera view. But get that in there good and soaking wet. Now you see we got a couple places that my ballast come off, because I got a little too vigorous with the sprayer. So I'm just going to heat it a little bit, or with the ballast. Same thing over here, just a couple little spots. Now if we hadn't sanded that cork down, it would have been a lot more aggravating. Once again, I'm just going to hit a little bit of just a mist. I'm going to try to do it like this. There we go. This, you can use the like the eyedropper or whatsoever, and that'll work. Now I noticed once you you see that white right there in the middle right here, That wasn't there a few seconds ago. What that is actually the tacky glue that we used earlier to lay the track down. That's why I was saying whenever I started putting the glue on, even with a brush, it was wanting to seep through the railings, and then it just made a glob of mess. So that's why I started just put a light on the bottom in certain spots on the layout. But once this all dries, then that'll turn clear again, and then you'll be all right. You ain't gonna see that as much. Now I'm just gonna take my finger and just kind of smear off the top of the rails. I'm not touching the ballast, and I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video. I'm gonna go back over here and do that other section, and I'm gonna call it the night, and try to get this video uploaded, and maybe we can start working on the tunnel ports and get ready to get the mountainside going. Until then, keep model railroading. Bye bye. Okay, well, we got our ballast down. I did do this video previously, but it got deleted by accident or lost whenever I was swapping over computers. So we're going to do this one more time. I got one of our 060s out on the table right now. There's a good running engine, and we're going to fire it up and let you see. I got a good smooth current running around, and let's get it going. That's just on 20. Let's see what that does. Coming up the incline. Coming around a curve here. Do a turnout. And that seems to be working good. So let's set it up here on the upper track here. Now this part back in here is not got any bus wires hooked to it. See, I didn't swap direction. That's what I was talking about. Running your yellow wires to the right side of the track. See, it was coming in this way, and I went up yonder. Now it's going back that way. That's your passover, your figure 8. And there it is on the truss bridge. Alright, so we got good smooth operation. Let's put that in reverse. See how it does coming back. We're going to crank it up a little bit more. The track over there ain't connected just right. Oh yeah. Looking good, so we put it back over here, reverse. It should go in reverse. Let's turn the momentum on. Okay, we got the momentum on. We're going to fire it up to 50. See what it does here. Alright, starting to move. I guess about halfway. I'm going to turn it back down. See how long it takes for it to stop. Almost there. Ain't quite enough track. Well, anyway, you see, we just have that little bit of section wired up, and the engine doesn't seem to be stalling. Now the track does need a little cleaning still, and they get some good cleaning stuff to clean the track, but it ain't gonna do all that until I get ready to start taping it up. When I get ready to start putting other plaster down for the mount and everything, way we ain't wasting no cleaning solution. But guys and ladies and kids, hope y'all enjoying the series so far. If you would, please just leave a like and subscribe and leave a comment.